What's up, everybody? So today is going to be like it was for Articuno, and I'm going to be catching you guys up on what happened this weekend. I will be doing it in two parts, again, because I recorded so much and I want to get it all in, and when I put it all together, it was way too long. It was like a 30-minute long thing, and I'm just not quite there yet. Where I can do a 30-minute long video, and I don't think a lot of people are there that can watch a 30-minute video all the way through. Well, unless it's like a really good video. I mean, I have watched 30-minute plus videos all the way through, but I mean, like, that's exceptional. I don't do that for everyone, right? So there's my reasoning, basically in an oversimplified version. I'm looking at the screen. I'm also recording here, and why I'm recording here is I am extremely close to getting my first Ultra Friend, and I figured I would lucky egg that and put it up as well, and I may as well also put on an incense and star piece, just so I can get all the XP, right, guys? Speaking of XP, I didn't say it when it happened, but I did get 40 million XP like midway through last week. I'm not 41.5, so onward to 50 mil, I think, is the next milestone. Anyway, as a recap for Zapdos, we got 3 shiny Zapdos. Same for Articuno, 3 shinies. Unfortunately for us, while it was raining heavily, as you can see in the recap footage, I guess is what I'll call it, it was actually cloudy for the first 2 hours, but it was actually raining extremely heavily throughout the whole event. We did finally get cloudy weather, as you can see by these weather boosted ones up here. We did finally get cloudy weather in the last hour. These aren't all the Zapdos I caught. We got 40 raids in, and I ended up catching, I think, 18. I did straight up run away from one right at the end, so I could fit in one final raid in the hopes of a shiny. Excuse me, and I couldn't get into one raid, so I did 39, and I ran away from one, so there were 38 that I tried to catch in some fashion or another. And of those, well, let's just count the one that I ran away from, right? So the 39, 3 were shiny, which is about 1 in 13, and this lines up okay-ish with the 1 in 10 shiny rate that was reported from the Asia Pacific region. So the Zapdos' shiny rate actually was increased from Articuno's shiny rate. Articuno's shiny rate was the base legendary rate, which was about 1 in 19, so that's like just over 5%. It's like about 6%. For Zapdos, it looks like it was about 11%. Which is really good. Higher chance of getting shinies, and as you can see here, I have some stuff I'm going to be distance trading for, and I think they improved the Alolan eggs, guys. You see that? I hatched 9 Alolan eggs earlier today, and 4 of them were Vulpix, and that's just unusual. But anyway, continuing on, making sure that there's no weird spawn here. From my incense, so that way I don't miss anything. I may blur out this name in editing, we'll see. But as you can see, our great friend, one more day. I'm gonna open the gift. Oh, this is a gift to send. I'll go ahead and send him one, right? Cause why not? And gonna open the gift, and let's see if it happens, if it activates, if we get to Ultra Friend. So there we go, we did it. I'm gonna put the mic down so that way I can screenshot this, and there it is, guys. Ultra Friends. Woo! The first of many, hopefully. That's 100,000 XP because I had lucky I got. We're gonna check this dust call and cash it. But it was still pretty fun actually. It was raining really badly. Like my normal pair of walking shoes were completely trashed by the rain, and we did walk and we did 40 raids on foot in the rain. I was a wet dog afterwards. I had to shower. But it was all in all very good, very fun. We had maybe, I think, 50 or 60 people come out, which was more than for Articuno Day. I think for Articuno Day we had 40 people. And we actually had a full Instinct lobby for the first few raids, I think. It was like between 15 and 20 people in the Instinct group at the start. We ended with about 11 or 12 as people peeled off due to running out of passes, having to go do life things, etc. But it was all very fun, very good. A lot of people got shinies. There was one person, unfortunately, in our group who did not get a shiny. I'm so sorry to you, because I actually didn't get the highest number of shinies. One person in our group got 8 shinies. So yeah, they definitely did something with the shiny rate. Oh yeah, if you see me like regularly like going to the like inactive like menu screen thing, like where the app is in standby, that's because despite the fact that I had an umbrella, the rain was just so bad. It was really, really bad. My screen constantly kept getting wet, and this was the case for a lot of people. And I did not bring like a cover case or anything for my phone, so I was constantly like wiping it off. So if you're wondering like why that's constantly happening, that's why, and I'm sorry for that. That just couldn't be helped. I'm just glad my phone cooperated so much in really, really poor weather. This is a shiny check, and no, but anyway, it was all very fun. It was very good. I didn't even talk about, like, even if it wasn't shiny, right, you got a Thundershock Zapdos. But let's discuss that for a second. And if there's not enough time here, which I don't think we do have, there's only 7 minutes left. So I'll probably talk about it more at length in part 2, with introductions pretty much out of the way. But let's discuss for a second a concern that a lot of people have about how do I say it? About legendary power creep, about the nature that it's taking, about future-proof legendaries, etc. All this whole concept of that. So what I mean is, to start out, there's this idea that legendaries can be future-proof, and what I mean by that is, let me start by CP. So I spent some Stardust and I maxed out a Kyogre and a Groudon, right? And they're both 15 attack, 93%, and they've got really the best sets that they can get, right? So this Kyogre's got Waterfall, Hydro Pump, that's amazing. Groudon's a little bit more tenuous, he can either have Earthquake or Solar Beam. This one came with Solar Beam, which is better in neutral for damage. Earthquake's better if you want him to be a ground type, of course. But, excuse me. I left it that way because I could use both Groudon and Kyogre versus Regirock, which will be coming next month. And so I figured I would just leave them that, as is. And I plan on powering up a couple of Mewtwo in the coming days, right? And then after that I'm going to power up a Mew because I want to. But next are 2 Mewtwo. I have one that I'm holding on to that is at level 20. And then the other one's going to be this one that I'm going to max out anyway. It's going to be this one. It's 91%. Unless I get something better at the next EX raid I'm going to go to this Thursday, right? So let's discuss this. So the big thing that a lot of people are talking about at the moment is Zapdos. If you caught it during the 3-hour period, right, it has Thundershock, right, which was originally in Zapdos's move pool. When he was added to the game, it was removed from his move pool at release. So you see here, this Zapdos, it has Thundershock. It's from Saturday, from his own day, the 21st of July, 2018. So he's got Thundershock. That's his. That's the quick move he can get then. And like we can confirm, Zapdos cannot learn Thundershock anymore. If you quick TM, it's not possible to switch one with Charge Beam to Thundershock, and if you do it on Thundershock one, it switches to Charge Beam, and you can't change it again, right? So it's like a Community Day exclusive move. Once it has it, if it has it, you don't want to TM it away because you won't be able to get it back, right? So this is one I had before. It's not very good. I powered it up because I needed it when Lugia returned, when I was on campus in the rural country, and we had a very small group, and we needed all the power we could get. This is from way back when he was out originally in summer of 2017. Charge Beam, right? And Charge Beam is a terrible quick move compared to Thundershock. It's just really bad. So this Zapdos, if I powered it up to the same level, of course would have higher CP because this one actually has higher IVs, but it would also be better, right? Because it would deal more damage. And for a Legendary, that's all that really matters, because Legendaries can't be put on defense. So really what they can offer you on offense is really all you can do. And I'm sorry if I'm like throwing balls in the recap footage. I'm kind of half paying attention. I'm kind of half not. Because I want to talk about this. Because Zapdos Day is kind of what started this trend. Well, it looks like it's going to be a trend, right? Where you're going to have a Legendary return for its exclusive day. It is not just going to have a shiny available, but it'll have its own signature move, right? So for Zapdos, it's Thundershock. I don't know what they'll do for Moltres if they do the same thing. Like, will Moltres get an exclusive move too? What can it get that's better than Fire Spin and Overheat? It can't get Blast Burn. Maybe they'll give Moltres a Flying type set. Who knows? But so if they give Moltres a Flying type set, this is immaterial. But let's discuss what a lot of people brought up, right? Kyogre, who's made a return twice. Kyogre's been available 3 times now, and the most recent time with a shiny. So if they were to do a Legendary Day for Kyogre, just having 3 hours of Kyogre and maybe a chance at the shiny isn't quite going to be enough, isn't quite going to cut it. So what would they do? Well, it's already in the game, right? They could release it with Origin Pulse. And this will probably happen if/when they do Primal Reversion, which will probably be around the same time they do Mega Evolution, right? But that can be any time. We already suspect that Mega Evolution may happen sooner than Generation 6, which is when it came out. So, let's discuss that, right? Let's discuss let's discuss Kyogre, right? The example of Kyogre. Kyogre learns Origin Pulse, and if they release an Origin Pulse Kyogre, right, it'll be inherently better than Hydro Pump Kyogre, which in a way kind of compares to how Thundershock Zapdos is better than Charge Beam Zapdos. So, in this case, a later iteration of a Legendary, and there's a shiny. A later iteration of a Legendary is power creeping the current version of it, right? A later iteration of a Legendary is power creeping the original version. So in this case, Thundershock Zapdos is power creeping Charge Beam Zapdos, and it's exclusive, right? So you can't get it outside of that event. And Origin Pulse Kyogre is power creeping Hydro Pump Kyogre. You wouldn't be able to get it outside of that event in theory anyway, right? Hypothetically speaking. So what does this mean? This means that this is probably a new strategy to incentivize activity in the Pokemon Go community, in addition to making revenue, making money. Because raids are a big money maker for Niantic. People buy raid passes all the time. And to encourage people to do, 40, 50 raids like me and my group have been doing, it's definitely, I think, the norm, not the exception. Because at least in my area, we had thousands of people out doing whole runs for Zapdos, way more than the 5 free raid passes. So they were definitely, if not doing 40 or 50 raids, maybe they were doing 10 or 20. I know that for people who were considered casual, they were doing 16 raids. That is still 11 more than the 5 free passes. So that's 11, at least 10, if they kept the free raid pass from the previous day. So that's at least 10 premium passes, right? So we're all spending money, and this compilation's almost over. But the question I'm going to pose for part 2, which we're going to talk about in depth, is this a good idea? Is this a good idea for Niantic to do? Like, is this a good idea to re-release Legendaries over and over with something new added to it, and not just, something that's only aesthetically different. So like a shiny Kyogre with Hydro Pump is just as good as a normal Kyogre with Hydro Pump in practice. If they have the same stats, they'll perform exactly the same. But if the Kyogre has a different move, right, and it does better, like, is that invalidating progress made? Is it invalidated? Like, is it basically causing people to not want to spend Stardust on good mons because that effort would be quote-unquote wasted in the future? I'm not quite wording it correctly, but if you see what I'm trying to get at, then you probably understand what I'm saying, right? The progress you make, you know, you're powering up 1, 2, maybe 3, maybe even 6 Kyogres with Hydro Pump. Are all of those worthless, say, when Origin Pulse Kyogre comes along? Would someone who maxed out 1, maybe even 2 or 3 Zapdos with Charge Beam, would all that be wasted? All that rare candy, Zapdos candy, Stardust, would all that be wasted because there's now a new Zapdos with Thundershock that performs better? And I'm going to talk more about that in the next one. Sorry we're out of time, but I wanted to talk about Zapdos Day itself, so I'm going to reserve the deeper discussion for the next part. I'm way over time anyway, but we'll talk more about this at length in the next video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can watch the next one where I talk about this at length and I just give my opinion on this argument. And I'll see you guys in the next one.